I won't lie, this took me way longer than I would like to admit. Now, I know a lot of players aren't struggling with this higher level content like I am, but remember, my account is only using SR units and below, besides Leon, because she is given to everyone for free initially. So this is like a challenge account basically, but I have now officially killed Terramation Hell 2 10-0. Now, I don't care if it actually can lose sometimes, right? My goal is basically 80% before I start grinding the stage. Maybe I would grind it at 70%, but I did manage to get it up to a 100%, probably 95%. So I'm going to show you how you can use free-to-play units to grind this stage and get to that next power level. So very first thing is, yes, I haven't done Hell 3 yet. I actually think I'm really close, but I need to grind this stage because I need to get more damage. So I need to get some more optimal gear for my characters in order to push my damage dealers, I think, to the next level. Maybe get some better gear sets as opposed to the basic stuff that I'm using. But I fully expect this team to be able to clear Hell 3, probably Hell 4. Inferno, I'm not so sure about yet. We'll have to, well, let's take one step at a time. So here is the squad. We are using Leon, Ditting, Dina, Fengus, and Valorant. I was using Chalky the Echo. I call her Chalky the Echo. Chiaki the Echo. But it turned out I just needed more damage. This was really good at lower stages, but once I needed more damage, I needed to switch her out for just more sustain. So I'm going to run through it, and we'll just show you how it works as we go through. But really, the important thing here is that Valorant has her S5 skill. We'll go look at all the characters, you know, later. But this is the most goated sustain unit versus this boss. It gives everyone tons of shields, and then it helps. She could cheat death, and then she can give the weakest person invulnerable, which stops him from killing them because they like targeting the lowest HP unit. So she is absolutely goated in this stage, like absolutely ridiculous. Completely took it so I couldn't clear Hell 1 to now I'm clearing Hell 2 easily just by throwing her in. Fengus here is like a hybrid character. He's a damage dealer, but he's doing it through dots, not directly. And he does apply an AoE slow to help us get those turns. Dina here is the debuffer. She is just going to shred all of their defenses, let us do a bunch of damage. Ditting here is our primary damage dealer. He is absolutely jacked for killing things. He is going to do most of the damage. However, Leon does do good damage in this fight as well because of the type advantage. And we're going to start killing this on the left, and then we're going to move to the center. And we'll watch this on, well, we could watch it on times too, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So there is always going to be RNG, but luckily I think it's not going to affect us there. So she goes, he triggers 50% of the time, anyone else goes, and we'll start placing dots. And basically our goal here is to do enough damage when Leon's turn comes up to be able to, well, ideally kill him before that even happens, because that way we don't have to take that hit. So it was close, but still, that's good enough. So she starts her thing back up. She starts it with it in the beginning of combat also, which basically just gives us a ton of HP. And now we're kind of just trying to survive while dishing out the damage, you know? He does add some survivability as well, and when he attacks, he has a reasonable chance to apply a dot. It's not guaranteed or anything, but it absolutely can be very good. There we go. You see, I mean, that's 4% of his life, right? So that is not a small amount. And being able to slow is also huge, because this thing is still slowed, at least for now. But yeah, more dots. And then we're going to get to a point where it's going to start getting sketchy soon. I actually don't know how many of my characters normally survive, but we'll take a look. So yeah, a little bit of slowdown is bad, but you can see here he's just not doing quite enough damage because everyone's getting such a big shield every time they get a turn. And then once her thing runs out, this is where it starts getting scary, because now characters can die. But since we killed his arm, this attack is not that scary, right? It won't quite kill anybody. So it's pretty precise the way this fight works. But now she's going to get up her shred again. She does not have it really leveled up. He doesn't have his skill really either. So like we could basically increase our damage by just getting more of these skills to have lower cooldowns. But there we go. You see, if this would have gone maybe an extra half turn or a turn longer, we probably would have died because he would have chain killed everybody. So this fight is really like you clear it or you get obliterated. But that's kind of the idea of how the team goes. So we'll kind of go through each unit here. Leon, for her modules, Onslaught, Swift Rush, right? Nothing fancy, all right? This is still, I'm getting to the point where now I can start grinding the more advanced stuff. Onslaught, Swift Rush, her shell is going to be I did fully get White Fang, but you can see here it's only level 32. It's not even maxed. These are not maxed, right? I mean, 10% is fine. Crit damage 10% is fine. Effect accuracy is fine. These are all okay, but this is far from min-maxed. She's running attack bonus, and crit rate, because it just, I mean, that's basically all she needs. Maybe crit damage would be better, but I am not min-maxing her right now. I'm trying to just get to a point where I could grind the level. So very simple build for her. If you look at her skills though, I do have a lot of lattices in her because keep in mind this is the only legend I'm using. So I do have maxed out S3. I have this skill at S2, and then her alt is actually at S4. And I will probably be taking that to S5 after this because it increases her passive. So that is a lot. I have a lot of investments in these units. So Ditting, his most important skill here is the exclusive mark, I would say, because it makes it so you get crit damage converted from your excess crit rate. And it gives you passive really high crit rate in general. But you definitely want to be picking up this S level 3 skill here as well, because this brings up your 400% damage to 450%. And again, when you have some extra purples, I do think these are important to pick up. They will allow you to get a guaranteed follow-up attack, which, you know, 80% is high, but it's not guaranteed, so this always makes it good. And then lowering it a level so you get it, or a turn so you get it every 3 turns is good. This, you just kind of level up as you can, kind of low priority. But as for his actual build here, we're just using Onslaught and Harvest. We're using a more maxed out White Fang. It's got a little bit of speed, but it's got better attack on it, and it's got a little bit of speed. The accuracy doesn't really matter, but this stuff's expensive to reroll. So yeah, I mean, he's using crit rate, crit damage, and attack bonus. This is pretty much the best I have right now. Maybe in those 10 fights I've found something else. I'll look at that later. This is probably the big one here. So if you take a look at our speed levels, right, 187, they're not insanely high, but they are high. 193, I actually had to keep bringing his speed down because he kept being too fast, I think, because this shell is just really fast with 35 and the +7. But this character is so important. All we care about is the HP percent. Because she starts with her skill level 5 on, so she starts with Hazy Dream, meaning anytime someone gets a turn, they are going to get 12% of her HP of shield. So because she has so much HP, it's basically like they're getting out like a huge chunk of their health bar as extra HP every time they get an action, as long as she is sleeping, and this starts at the start of combat because it's at rank 5. Then also they get a passive benefit as well. And then finally, when she actually wakes up, she could do some invincibility, and then she has a dead turn here for a couple turns where she has to do the Profound Dream, which is just like a bad attack. But this is really powerful, and this will keep you alive long enough to actually let you to do stuff. Dina, oh sorry, yeah, HP, and this is not even an amazing shell. This is meant to give her some extra turns, but you can see here a little bit of HP. But like that does nothing, and this does literally nothing. Dina here, she's all about this skill. I do have it at level 1. I don't think that you really need to rank this up. You either want level 1 or level 5. So level 5, so the skill goes down is huge, but do you really want to spend what 4 I think it is of the purple lattices just to get it down a turn? Maybe, I don't know, because this is only good if you have other characters that also need her to go faster on it. It's reasonable, but really this is good enough. It's on its own. 4 hits, does defense down, then has a good chance to do vulnerable, then has a chance to do erosion. Basically makes them take more damage, makes them take more damage, makes them take more damage. 3 different debuffs that all make them take more damage. The second skill is just erosion. It's not as good as the other skill, but it is still good. It makes it so when you crit them, they get dealt extra damage, and they increase their own turn meter. And even the steel turn meter is okay. It's a pretty low chance. It's a 30% chance, but you're probably building her with effect accuracy because you really need the other stuff to land. She hits like a wet noodle, not what she's about. But as for the shell, we're just doing effect accuracy and then giving herself speed. She wants to go as fast as she can, as frequently as she can, and get this effect accuracy. You can see here I'm just using Swift Rush. This is not optimized characters. They are just meant to be fast. But she does need to be either the fastest or the second faster if you're running Chalky. And finally, Fangus here. I actually don't think it matters if he's very fast, but I decided to make him fast. You could run him with like Bramble, and you could also run him just slow because he has a good follow-up chance anyway. But I did decide to make him fast. As you can see here, I could have gotten even more speed, but I wanted him to be slower than Dina to ensure that he actually got that buff. You know, he got to use advantage of her stuff. He's really here, the effect accuracy. every time someone attacks, he has a 50% chance to follow up, and his follow-up does 280% damage, which is fine, but he doesn't have a lot of attack right now. But has a 35% chance to inflict a dot. So anytime someone goes, there's almost a 20% chance to inflict a dot, and that is before the effect accuracy. So it's closer to 40%, something like that, if I had to do quick maths. But then he has this also, AoE attack, damage over time. It does a 2-turn dot, by the way, so that's 8% of their life, and it lowers their speed by 30%. Fantastic skill. The speed being 2 turns is good. It's a 4-turn cooldown, so I do want to get this down to 3. That way they're almost always slowed as long as you're faster than them. But it's still very good, and the dot is very good, and he just gets a bunch of dots on. But that's the team. He fills the important role of buying you that little bit more time that you need by slowing them down, but also not making you sacrifice a bunch of your damage. A lot of the characters, like, there's not that many characters that can slow that also just have like a really good, there's honestly just not a lot of the lower rarity that can slow. In fact, I can't even think of any off the top of my head. Viper can, but he's blue, and I probably wouldn't want to use Viper because his damage is lower anyway, but Viper would be good if he wasn't blue, I think, but you just can't use it in this mode. So this is very good, lowering their speed. And yeah, that's basically the team, right? We got our debuffer, we got our sustain, we have our hybrid support damage dealer, and then we've got our dedicated damage dealers here. You should have all of these units. If you don't have any of these units, you probably have SSRs that are going to be better than these units at something. I would say Valoran is probably one of the best in the game, like SR or SSR, and Deting is probably one of the best in the game, SR or SSR. But I think, I mean, honestly, I think Dina might be as well. But there's definitely these flex slots. I don't think Leon is going to be the best backup damage dealer, and I don't think Fangus is going to be the best here. You could probably have a character that does more debuffs or more buffs, because I don't have any attack buff on this team, right? So if you have a character that can give your team attack buffs, which is why I was using Chayaki, but I just found out the attack buff didn't equate to as much as having a full other character that could damage and slow. At least it didn't feel like it to me in my testing. But yeah, guys, that's the team. Free-to-play team. Only SR units. And, I mean, come on. Leon is an SR unit. She gives it to you at the launch of the game. She's a very expensive SR unit, right? Anyway, guys, that's all for this one. Let me know what other kind of builds of teams you want to see for which kind of content. I'm working on all the content right now, and this is my niche. This is what I know. I know purple units, and I know how to build them, and I know kind of which ones work good together. But if you ask me which unit goes good with Tiamat, I don't know, man. I haven't even read her skills, all right? Look at this. Just so you could know that I'm being real. So if you look at my SSRs, tomorrow, I promise, I will use the reset event to reset Freya. I do not want her leveled up. I missed my opportunity to use the reset event. Leon is sticking. But yeah, look at this. I got so much stuff here. Who needs it? Anyway, much love for Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye!